My name is Ruth Adrian. I'm a retired elementary school teacher. I taught for Pemberton schools for 39 years. I went to Pemberton schools from pre-first all the way through 12th grade. It was because of my teachers that I chose to become a teacher. Fourth grade was the best, and because of fourth grade, I my fourth grade classes were came on field trips. In the beginning, it was just the company town, and then they added the Lenni Lenape, and that was the two topics that we would study. So twice a year, my fourth graders would get to come here and live the experience. It was hands-on. For the company town, they were in the bogs weeding and planting and hoeing. For the Lenni Lenape, they were building the wigwam. In the beginning, they actually had everything outside, but because it was winter, they ended up moving into the big building back here. And so that was two things. And from 96 to 2012, all my students were military. So this area was completely new to them. And they loved the trips. The parents loved the trips. Now, in terms of Whitesbog itself, I was in college from 69 to 73 at Glassboro, and I was taking an environmental course, and I was on a field trip, and I was on the bus, and I'm looking out the window, and I go, why are we coming home? And then I realized we were coming to Whitesbog, even though I had never been here before, and it was only like 15 minutes from where I grew up. I grew up on the other side of Pemberton Township off of Magnolia Road, so the Browns Mill side was like far away. If you didn't have a car, you didn't go anywhere, that kind of thing. So, and you heard what I'm going to say it anyway. I grew up not liking Elizabeth White. I blamed her for creating the blueberry because at age 9, being number 5 out of 6 children, all 6 of us went to work, picking blueberries. In fact, I grew up off Magnolia Road, and the only blueberry farms I knew were off of Magnolia Road. So I thought that's the only place they grew. From 9 years old to 22, I worked in the blueberry fields every summer. As a child, my goal was to make $3 a day, and as I became a teen, I got to pack blueberries. So my goal was to make $10 a day, but the money was used to buy our own school clothes every year. So the last time I actually worked in blueberries was summer of 72. I was 21, I think. I really think it was the hands-on for the children. They had so many different kind of activities. And they even had set up one of those activities where I can't remember what it's called, where they were giving clues, and that clue, when you got to one place, brought you to another place that brought you to another place. The children did like that. They got to learn a Native American dance as well, and the wigwam, making pemmican. I did learn as an adult that Native Americans used moss as diapers for babies. I thought that was very interesting. I did not know that. And again, because of these specific classes, we usually came in the winter time, where there was other classes for other grade levels. I know the third grades came for the cranberry harvest, and the fourth grade was focused on the company town at Lenni Lenape. In fact, I grew up saying Lenni Lenape. Everybody said Lenni Lenape. And then when I started teaching New Jersey history, I found in a book you pronounce it Lenni Lenape. Well, if you have a chance to come here, definitely come here. It's an experience in itself, and the beauty, it's just wonderful. In fact, getting back to when I came here on a field trip in college, our guide actually showed us, he had a deer hoof, and he pressed it in the sand, and then he poured it into the sand to make a mole, so that you could like see the traction. And I actually learned how to do that. And so when my son was in fourth grade and had to do a book report on Bigfoot, we dug a footprint in the ground, and I still have that plaster of Paris footprint. I I don't want to scare anybody, but I actually had some coworkers who were very allergic when they came out here. It aggravated asthma and bronchitis and things like that. A couple times they end up in the hospital. So they would have to end up staying back at school and someone would sub for them. And that's how I got to come one time on a third grade field trip. I subbed for the third grade teacher because she couldn't come. I even donated a couple of things decades ago to the Whitesbog. I remember it was some kind of old-fashioned curling iron that you actually put on a stove to heat. It was pure iron. And but that was a long time ago. And when I retired in 2012, I gathered up all my photos of my field trips with my students over the years and put them in an album or two and brought them over and donated them. I used to volunteer at the blueberry festivals, and it was in the summertime in June. But then in 2010, in the winter, I had a heart attack and I couldn't deal with the heat anymore. So I couldn't come out anymore. But I used to scoop ice cream. I used to sell the blueberries and things like that. But that was a once a year volunteer thing. And I used to take art classes here. They had an art instructor, and she was from Canada, and apparently her work visa ended, and so she had to go back to Canada. But I took a few art classes here. That was pretty cool. And I only lived like 10 minutes away. But again, with Pemberton Township being 64 square miles, you definitely need your car. I would like to say that in terms of blueberries, this is the home of the blueberry, not Hamilton. Okay? And when you're buying blueberries, definitely smell them. My sister lives in Florida since the 80s, and she swears if you can't smell them, you don't want to eat them. Oh, when I was a blueberry picker, my mother said we couldn't eat the blueberries because they belonged to the farmer. He was paying us. In fact, they paid us with, I don't know if you know this part of history, with tickets. And we weren't allowed to cash them in until the end of summer. And I was 9 years old when I received my very first $100 bill. Yep, and took 2 weeks, but bought my school clothes. So, yep, I think that might be it. Oh, to this day, well, now that I'm older and have health issues, I will buy blueberries somebody else will pick. But up until a few years ago, the only blueberries I would eat would be the ones I picked myself. So, and I do try to buy them, and I have a recipe for blueberry bucko that's really, 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 really good. Great. I just remembered in high school when we were packing blueberries, we got to be on television. The farmer had purchased for $50,000 with other farmers this giant blueberry picking machine, and they did a 5-part show on the blueberry farming and this new machine and everything. From Philadelphia, it was Farm Home and Gardens. It was 15 minutes, 6:45 in the morning. So we got to be on television with that. And not too soon after that, believe it or not, the workers, migrant workers, were so afraid that they were going to lose their job because of this machine. They actually tried setting fire to it. But no damage was done. They were able to put it out in the machine. But berries are best picked, when they're picked by hand. But they have all this modern machinery now with laser lights and everything for sorting. Because that was another job I did, besides picking and packing, was sorting. And you had to get out all the snake skins and sticks and things like that. And the bad berries, of course. I guess that's it.